boys and girls. Live from the Ministry League studios in North Georgia, each week with John the Professor Podine and Paul Superman Sperlin, and with producer Caleb Sampson behind the glass on the Ministry League Network. And on all your other favorite platforms, here with all your ministry talk and the latest in news and sports. It's the Jon and Paul Show live.
Welcome to the Jon and Paul Show, brought to you by Ministry League at ministryleague.com and everything on social media at Ministry League. As was already mentioned with a beautiful introduction there by Caleb, this is Jon Podine here with me. I am Paul Sperlin, and Caleb Sampson is behind the glass an hour up the road, who has more face time than the intro, but it's okay. We love him, and he's there, and we couldn't do it without him.
Did you say behind the grass?
No, glass.
Okay, it sounded like you said grass. Yeah, I was wondering what was going on. Well, Paul, how's it going? I see that you've already come out of your shirt already.
I've come out of my shirt already.
Brian too. Yes,
it's hot. It's cold outside, hot inside. I'm right here next to the window. But it's a good day.
That's what I say. It ain't cold outside or hot outside, man. You have to get used to the cold weather again for being in North Georgia. You know, living in Alabama, it only happened a couple times a year, and now it's November and it's already like that.
I'm ready for the cold though.
But Paul, I wanted to show you something and show all of our people who are watching this something. You know, if you are especially a long time Jon and Paul Show listener,
yeah,
look at what I'm drinking out of.
This isn't that cool? I can't find mine. You need one with a Ministry League logo on it.
I got this. This is the other one. Remember
who made that? Yeah, who made that for us? Where do we get that red mug? Do you remember that?
I don't know. You just always said, "Here, this is yours. Take it."
We need to make more. We need to make more merch.
Oh man! But we sure hope everybody is out there is having a good day. It's a different day. It's here on Monday that we are coming out, but we will still have our show on Friday. We'll talk more about that coming up here. Our special Thanksgiving show. By Jon and Paul. But we wanted to come to you because, Paul, this is a special day in the heart, life, and breath of people who love Exposure Youth Camp.
It is that, Jon the Professor Podine. Thank you for bringing that up. Today is November, just want to make sure I'm saying it right here, November the 15th.
Boom, 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 boom.
And this is the last day of registration for Exposure Youth Camp. I received about 10 emails over the past 24 hours asking for the link for registration for Exposure, and I have sent it to those. I think if you have not yet received it, you can shoot me a text or definitely a text will be the best way because I'm looking at my phone. And we can put my number up in the show notes if you want. I don't care. Because you need to get that link. And if you requested it and don't have it yet, seriously, shoot me a text. We need to get you that today. Because starting tomorrow, the number goes up from, it was 175 for the first 2 weeks. It was 200 the next 2 weeks, which ends today. And it starts at 225 starting tomorrow. You don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. We really want to close this down. We're gonna send off for ordering our T-shirts and lanyards and things like that. So we cannot guarantee anything after today. So if you want to attend, you get to come. You get to pay $225, and you get nothing except everything you get about being there. And it's going to be great. And yes, Brandon Edwards, it is exciting times to know that Exposure. It is wonderful. It's going to be wonderful, Brandon, because you will be there. And we can't wait to see the class you're going to teach and the post you put on Facebook today, by the way, I saw that and appreciate that and look forward to seeing all your findings from your study, from what you've been doing. But Jon, there's something kind of big that comes from what today is and what's going to happen by the end of the week. We're going to have some more information for folks. You want to tell them what that is?
I have no earthly idea what you're talking about right now.
Okay, so tomorrow, I didn't realize this.
Oh, yeah.
Right
okay,
here
that's what you're talking about.
Here in Marietta, Georgia, and we are going to break down the draft and and we will make it available, and we'll probably, we will send it out the same way we sent out the link. So if for some reason you did not receive the link through email, you need to make sure you sign up for the newsletter through Ministry League. That is ministryleague.com. On the front page, click it and subscribe to it so you receive it. If you have done that and you didn't receive it, check your spam folder. All of those emails are sitting there. A lot of information you need.
Yes, and Paul, that's the thing too, that we are coming down, and I know everybody's been asking. They're like, "Hey, am I going to get into that?" And we're like, "Hey, it's coming." And so here's the draft. We'll be doing that tomorrow. As Paul said, that him and I and Kelly will be working on that and trying to get that worked out in good faith. Just go ahead and let everybody know, Paul, right now that there are a lot of people that got it in within that deadline period to try to get into the draft to do it. There will be about 500 to 600 people that will not get into the embassy suites, who made it in time, who did everything early. That's why we ended up having to do this draft, because of just that sheer amount of people. And we are excited. Our numbers are raging. I just pulled the latest sheet just to kind of get a glimpse at it. So not quite, actually. Almost. Not what I just pulled, actually.
We're going to hit 2,300.
Oh, yeah. We'll hit 2,300. Oh, yeah, for sure we will. And so if people who know, that's only a few hundred off from where we were in 2019 prior to the pandemic. And so that is awesome. I'll be honest, I didn't expect that this year. And so, in fact, we're working with all the hotels and getting everything going as best we can, Paul, because I'm blown away by it, to be perfectly honest with you.
John, it's a complete bounce back. It's as if COVID didn't even happen. And we're hoping that exposure will make you think it didn't. So there's that.
Brandon, numbers are raging. That's going to be my new way of describing attendance in all of it. Just make sure we're not talking about numbers that deal with COVID, and then we're just perfectly fine with all of that.
We don't want that at all. But we are excited about the numbers and excited where we are. And as John mentioned, a third of the people that registered in the way in which to be in the draft will not make it. So sorry. So please don't be shocked. I think
because we ended up Paul, with about 1,700
people.
1,700 people, a little bit over that, who registered, did everything in time, paid it early, and everything else. This at max, and this doesn't ever happen. If you were to shove people to the max of every room, which is 6 in every room, and you know that doesn't happen a lot. I think the max is 1,200 people.
We've put 1,200 in there before. That was one of the first years we were in there, and everybody was trying to get in there, and that they did that. So when we ask you to put 5 or 6 per room, we do that so we can get the more people in there as possible. Right. So when you put 3 or 4, it hurts us, and it hurts other people's opportunity for that. So keep that in mind.
So that's why we're saying there's probably going to be about 500 or 600 people that are just not going to get in, but that means you'll be at the Spring Hill and next door,
or the Homewood Suites,
or
whatever else we come up with.
Yes. The other ones
for sure.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we are. So I know everybody's asking when we're going to know. We're hoping to have that list done tomorrow and hopefully emailed out the next day or two. Definitely by week's end, you should know this, which is really good because in years past, people didn't even know till they got there, or at least the first week of December. So we're ahead of the game, and not to put too much pub on this. We didn't want to put too much on this, but I will say John did refer to a Kelly. Kelly is our office manager here at Piedmont Road, and she is now working our registration, and we appreciate the work she's doing on this. She is kind of a noob. Well, she is definitely a noob when it comes to this, but she is not a noob when it comes to organization and getting it going. And so there's where we are on that.
That's true, Brandon. That is true. There are benefits of not being in the main hotel. Ask Dale Jenkins. We'll have a special show where Dale comes on and he'll talk about what's it like not staying in the embassy.
Which he prefers. which makes our job a lot easier.
Yeah, absolutely does.
And there's some congregations that prefer not to be in the embassy because they don't
absolutely.
want to deal with that. They're okay with a drive or a short walk.
Mm-hmm.
And so for that, we are truly thankful.
But let everybody know there, Paul, they will come in when you come into Huntsville this year. You will see that there is a new hotel on the north end of the Von Braun Center.
And you'll ask yourself, why aren't we there?
It's almost finished. It's the Hampton. Right. You will ask yourself because it's not open yet. They plan to open mid-January of 2022. So next year, hopefully, Lord willing, we'll be able to work everything out, and it will have a walk across from their parking garage. That's right there.
They will. And I think they had about 200 rooms, 200 or so. So it's going to be similar size to the embassy, a little smaller, not too much smaller. So
look, let's be honest, Paul. The city of Huntsville said, y'all need these hotels. We will help you out because we want to get everybody right there at the Von Braun Center area.
That is the hope, and that's what we're going for. So let's see what happens.
It is.
For this, that would be good.
Miracles are still taking place today.
Okay. All, but okay. But we're getting there. We're definitely getting there. John, tell me, how was your Lord's Day? How did things go for you yesterday?
Well, it was great here in Calhoun. Woke up to be the coldest morning since I moved back, but had a great day here. We had a guest speaker coming in, Don Walker, father of the Walker girls, as we call them back in Montgomery. And so we were up here. We had a wonderful time. And then, Paul, we had a great time coming on down to Piedmont Road last night for the area-wide youth devotional, kind of in that Atlanta area. And we just had a fantastic time down there with everybody. Everybody was there from us in Calhoun. Ella J was there with Caleb bringing them down and other surrounding congregations there in that Atlanta area. And it was awesome. Yeah.
Macklin was here and Woodstock and even other congregations. And so it was, worship was great. John did a phenomenal job, as he always does, speaking.
Paul has to say that because we're on the show together.
Well, I've said it off. Yes.
Hey, I'll say it too. My kids loved it, and you did a great job, John.
Oh, well, thank you, Caleb. He snuck out from behind the grass.
You're so mean. Okay. So we had barbecue. Some of us did, and then we went to the.
Say I did not. Don't ever.
No, we didn't.
I did not. I am doing what I'm supposed to do with this stinking stupid diet.
And then we went to the. He's doing well. He's got things to deal with. It's odd.
It is.
The skinny guys having the problems, but we're getting there, and we're going to work on it together somehow. That's what we're going to do. The bonfire, I think, was probably the favorite of the night with the s'mores and the singing. You felt like you were at camp, and I had kids saying basically this is the best week of camp ever. And it was the night. There was just something about it. It really touched the hearts of our kids and was like a favorite, honestly.
Well, Paul, it was really great, and you and I discussed this. It kind of. To us, for me and you, especially because we've moved in the last 6-7 months, we have, still everybody's still trying to get back from COVID, and there hasn't been a lot of normalcy, and we're getting to exposure, and that's kind of normal for us. That's our normal kickoff time, and this was kind of like an infusion for us, just being there with all the young people. And seeing Piedmont Road their congregation be able to participate and be a part of it and all, it was really a good way to kick off kind of, I guess I call it the youth rally season.
Yeah, I guess it is. Like I said, our folks here, our members here at Piedmont, we're really excited about having everybody in. And I just want to say a big thank you to all of our parents and all of our kids and all of our members at Piedmont Road for putting on just a great evening. It was truly awesome. And there is no question that the Spurlin family made the right decision in coming to North Georgia and being here a part of this area with these great people. It's just we're blessed. Our family's blessed by you, and I'm just really so thankful. And so appreciate you.
Well, there was also something that happened out at the bonfire, and Caleb could probably jump in here and talk a little bit about it because he was talking to us about it afterwards. That I couldn't see because of where I was or anything like this. But for anybody who doesn't know where the Piedmont Road church building is, there's a neighborhoods all around it, and high school not far from it. And so as we're out there singing, Caleb, you said you saw people coming out of the house to listen.
Yeah, I saw 3 or 4 different folks in the neighboring houses, and of course it was dark out. So when they came out on their porches, they kind of stood out a little bit, and they all were kind of coming out to see what all the beautiful music was that was wafting through the trees.
Wafting.
Wow.
Neath Heaven's Fair Dome.
Literary genius coming in here and dropping some stuff and then walking out.
I know. I gotta get the dictionary pulled up on the computer here to figure that one out.
It was wafting through the grass.
There's not that much grass between us. I mean, he obviously knows what he's talking about there.
But you know what it reminded me of, Paul? When he said that, it reminded me a little bit of the atrium singing, in particular when we were in Atlanta, when we were at the Marriott Marquis and we were singing down there at the bottom, and TCU, remember TCU's football team was in the hotel with us, and awesome. People and all their football players were coming out and listening to all that. So it kind of reminded me of it. And I think it goes back to something we were talking about last night, and we've been talking about on the show is, people are always watching, people are always listening. Now I want pie. But people are always watching you. And watching your example and seeing what you're doing. And so that's why we have to be understanding that this Christian life isn't just on Sundays and Wednesdays. It's every time. It's where everybody gets to see us. And you're being an example, and you're being spreading the gospel in ways you may not even know that you are.
Well, it's neat too, like you say, when we have situations like this and atrium singing, as you mentioned, that people just walk out of what they're doing from the norm to take part in a blessing that God gives to us. And so it's,
right.
You're right. It was awesome. And it was a great night. I needed it. And I know everybody else was benefited by it. So thank you for the part that you played, and anyone who was here or there, and means a lot.
And if anybody's looking for a song leader to come and lead singing at your youth rally, it is this way. Paul Sperlin led singing last night, and it was awesome. I was like, man, I'm getting replaced. I'm going to step off the stage at Exposure.
I've been watching you for years. I learned something, right?
Nah, it was all good. It was definitely all good there.
That was kind.
And everything.
Well, we are moving from that. The exposure is important. It's coming up. Today's last day of the registration. I'm so excited. And then the draft. Well, you'll hear about that by the end of the week. Area wide last night was great. Don't forget, Friday is our Thanksgiving show. If you want to, go ahead and go to Jon Paul Show at Jon Paul Show through our Twitter account, and drop things you are thankful for, and we will be sharing that on the Friday. This Friday. There will not be a show next week because of travel and holidays and everything. So keep in mind on that. And that takes us to the next part of the show, John.
Paul, we haven't been together for a little bit of time, and we said that this show may be a little bit more sports oriented.
We did say that.
And we have not had a show since the world paused in honor and celebration of your 2021 World Series champion, Atlanta Braves. Oh, it was so awesome. It was so awesome. It was worth staying up to watch that game. And just, when Soler hit that massive I'm not even in the park anymore home run, holy moly. It was like, okay, this has got to be the Braves night. It's got to be it.
We kept hoping for it. We kept talking about it. It's been 26 years, and yes, unfortunately, I'm old enough to remember 26 years ago when we won it. And
Yep.
The fact that we're finally back and we have it. For some reason, John, I got a feeling that it's not going to be 26 more years for the next one.
Well, I hope not. I mean, here's the deal, Paul. Nobody and anybody who sits here and tells you I had faith on the Braves, they were going to win the World Series.
Nobody.
No, you did not. They did not break
12th in record of any division winners. Even people that didn't win their division had better records than the Braves did, and they still came back across and truly dominated. They didn't need 7 games for anything.
And that's the thing. The Braves didn't go over 500 till what, mid-October, early October, somewhere around in there.
Yeah.
But from the trade deadline in July, they had the best record in Major League Baseball. And I've got to give it credit because, the Braves front office is notorious for not really making a lot of moves to make a go for a win. Whatever, Alex Anthropoulos, however you say his name, GM of the year.
Oh, no doubt.
If he doesn't get GM of the year, something is seriously wrong.
GM executive, for sure.
I mean,
well, they said I can't recall names. It's like Terry and somebody else anyway. The chairman and the president CEO of the team basically said, do what you got to do to get us there, and he did exactly what he had to do to get us there. Probably the best move mid-season and I would say Major League Baseball history, because they went from middle of the pack to number 1 in their division, and to do what they did, and the fact that these guys speaking different languages comes into a clubhouse and feels at home within a week. Right. That's pretty special. I think a lot of that is probably Southern hospitality. I think some of that is our area, is the South.
It's because they went to Waffle House.
Yeah, they went to Waffle House. And so it's just it's
so craving now that I said that.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
like you'll never be able to go again.
I shouldn't have said that because now I'm craving it so bad.
Yes, but we are in that time where we think about what's going to happen next for the Braves. Being in North Georgia, obviously, that's who our team is. That's who we pull forward. That's who we keep up with and share about. I do know that the Braves have made an offer to Marte, an outfielder that does not yet play for the Braves, which makes me sad. That means we're losing somebody. But I do know that Adam Duvall, Ronald Acuna Jr. Will be in the outfield. We're just not sure yet about. Oh, and we do know that Pearl is gone.
Pearl need to be gone.
Yeah, he's gone. But Jorge Soler, and then Eddie Rosario still on they're free agents. So the Braves are going to have to do what they can do to get them to come back if they're able to do that. And their first offer to Freddie was turned down.
Well, but that's part of the game. I mean, that's part of this game. They'll come together. The Braves were offering 5, Freddie wanted 7. They'll come back with something and they'll say, okay, we're going to give you 5 with 2 something here tacked on the end if you make it, and everything else like that. They'll come up with something. Freddie, I do not believe Freddie is going anywhere.
So the hot stove right now, according to Major League Baseball News, their words here, if they didn't already take them away from me here, I just saw them. They took them away from me. Oh, you couldn't find a soul who believes Freddie Freeman wouldn't be returning to Atlanta. So that's, right. That is also the consensus of fans around here, and they love Freddie, and he is from California, so yeah,
but he's been here. I mean, we've adopted
11 years.
We've adopted him. He's a Southerner
11
now.
years.
He's a Southerner. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure you can't take the California out of the person, but I mean, he's a Southerner. I mean,
he is. I don't think Chelsea is.
Oh, well, probably not.
We'll see.
She got some bougie-ness in her.
Just a tad.
Just a tad bougie.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
But, I hope it goes well because, Paul, I've got to be honest, since the Braves won the World Series, basically every team I sort of pull for has really just tanked.
I hate to hear that, John. That's terrible.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do hate that.
Well, give us one of those. Let's find out.
Which one do we start with?
The Jon and Paul Show. Let's talk about the yin and the yang of the Jon and Paul Show. It's a new segment here of the show, and so John, just throw one team out there, and I got an answer for you.
Should I start on the bottom or should I go at the top? Oh, Paul.
Hey, let's start with let's say college football.
Okay, we'll start with college football.
You have two favorite teams.
Yes.
And both of them are the arch nemesis of my team.
Very much so. And Paul questioned our friendship this morning, everybody, in case you're wondering.
What?
Yeah.
If that was the only one.
Okay, we'll start with the one that's not so bad. But what happened Saturday? Thanks, Landon. Offensively, they were. Yeah. Hate you.
I don't have to say anything.
No, we're going to start with the one that's not as bad right now.
I'm curious what you think is not as bad. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, you just made the Iron Bowl easier for y'all.
You actually think Auburn is not as bad as the Gators?
As Florida? No, I don't think they are. I think Florida's worse right now.
They don't have a quarterback or a kicker.
Well, they should have a kicker. I don't know whatever happened to him, but
on the last play.
Is that what happened? I didn't even watch the game, but yeah, Auburn. Paul, I think that made it easy for the Iron Bowl. I think the Iron Bowl is going to be more of a glorified scrimmage now. But
first of all, it's never easy. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, Brandon, I saw it. First of all, let me interrupt right there real quick. I cannot believe FSU came back and won that game. But good props to FSU because now it's going to be bottom dweller versus bottom dweller on 2 Saturdays from now. So with Florida and FSU going at it.
That would be an interesting game, though.
It would be an interesting game.
I
mean, Florida can't tackle. So, I mean, FSU is probably going to, have like 750 yards of offense and everything. So, so be it. So I guess we'll talk about
I'm pretty sure that – can you open the door? Yeah. I'm pretty sure that Florida State will put more numbers up than Sanford did.
Probably, considering the high school team from Birmingham came to Gainesville to play. So I might as well go ahead and get into that. I'm not salty or anything like that.
Not at all.
I literally – so my fellow Gator – oh, I hate when she talks to me here in the middle of all this. When Siri starts talking. Is that Jake?
Yep.
Oh, he can't get into all this.
Braves? Yeah.
We already talked about the Braves, Jake.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
There you go.
Nice.
Press that off. Yeah. It's good stuff.
What's up? Howdy, everybody. Good to see you. John,
Jake Sutton,
glad to have you.
world traveler,
Yes,
but he's
sir.
back home. And
He's back home. He's back from Texas. Oh, that's so sweet.
Yes.
So, Paul, I was texting my fellow Gator that I always text in the middle of the game, and that's Spencer Cantrell. And because, we were both in Montgomery, and so we always could talk about it. And I just texted her because I didn't pay attention to the score. I was moving stuff out of my dad's house on Saturday. And I saw the halftime score, and I screenshotted it, and I sent it to her, and I said, please tell me this is a nightmare that I'm sleeping in. She goes, nope, not even watching it now. Oh, and rumor is coming out of Gainesville is Dan Mullen is going to be out at the end of the year. He already fired Grantham.
Do you have the news feed happening now so you can share that? Is that why it's there? Is that what you're doing?
No, that's just rumor. Rumor came out. What's worse? I don't know. That's a very good question. Kansas and Samford are probably on the same level, and yet Kansas. Did you get to see SEC Shorts this morning, Paul?
No, I did not.
Oh my goodness! You need to go and watch it. There's a piece with Oklahoma and Texas at the end of it. That was pretty funny, and all that. I don't know how Texas.
Was at that game.
Yeah, that's probably Jake's fault that he was there. That they lost.
He walks out all their own times.
But what does that say about Steve Sarkisian, Paul?
It's his first. It's his first year, right? This is his first year. I mean, he's cleaning up a mess, and I think he's a good coach. I think he's a great offensive coordinator. I miss him. Bill O'Brien's okay, but I think anybody would have been okay with Bryce Young. Not to turn the page on that yet, but I think Sark's good. He just needed to really recruit. It's tough to recruit when you lose games like that. So
yeah, it was a tough weekend. It was a tough weekend.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I knew Landon would get it. And look, you got to give Landon props. Landon is a really.
He's not wrong.
That's what Florida fans used to say about Willie Taggart and had all the L's when they would lose to the name.
Yeah.
But hey, you got to give Landon and UGA props. I mean,
they're it.
They look like the team to beat, Paul. Sorry, I hate to tell you that for your Alabama.
You're not hurting my feelings.
It'll be an interesting game in Atlanta.
No, it won't. But it'll be it's good. Georgia, it's been 40 years. Let's give them one.
Yeah, we can give them one. Even Florida has 3 in that time period. So
generous of you.
Yeah, yes. How are you a Georgia fan, Caleb?
Because they're an underdog to Alabama always. And if you're a Nebraska fan, you have to cheer for the underdog.
Well, Nebraska's going to fire their coach too.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
Then he's going to Florida.
No,
they're not.
He's still got a house in Florida.
Oh, they've already talked about Scott Frost is on his way out at Nebraska.
They will never hire another coach that cares more about Nebraska winning than Scott Frost.
He's out. I'm telling you, he's out. Mullen's out. There are going to be others going out. Then the coaching carousel this offseason is probably
he'll be there for at least 2 more years. He even took a pay cut.
Nope.
John, your mic's muted.
You muted me. Why did you mute me? Who gets fired first, Paul? Dan Mullen or Scott Frost?
I don't know, because I don't want either one of them to get fired. I like them right where they are. Do I have to choose? I guess because of all the heat that we hear on social media is I guess Mullen. I mean,
Mullen's lost the team.
Florida has become a dumpster fire, and I'm going to tell you where it started. It started when he deflected recruiting questions about 4 or 5 weeks ago. Yep. When he says that, he didn't say that's not important, but he said, I'm not dealing with that right now. Well, that's your bad. You should have been dealing with that right then. That's a weekly occurrence. I don't care if you do have games.
Games lost and play it is what it is. But that's okay. We do got other people winning, and I think Georgia's got the best shot of the SEC to bring another national championship home.
Who's your short list for Florida's replacement?
I mean, you've heard names from everywhere from Lane Kiffin, Mel Tucker to Brian Kelly again. And I'm like, no, just stay away from all that type of stuff. I don't know. Somebody even mentioned Urban, and I'm like, he's not coming back. He's not.
He'll probably be available.
So I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question.
Wow. We'll see. We'll see for that. I'm with Caleb though. I don't think Frost is leaving Nebraska anytime soon.
I don't know. I keep hearing that there is a trouble out there in corn country.
That's because there's nothing else to do.
Yeah. That's it.
Oh goodness, Paul. Well,
back on the Georgia thing. Georgia's going to do well. They're going to win out. They're undefeated for the first time in 40 years.
That's true.
So, it's a good point Brandon made just now.
Dion seems like a feature fit just for that's Mullen right there. Lives and dies by the portal. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We will, for sure.
Well, Paul, you want to get into some games that are coming up this week?
We can do that if you want to do that. Let me get the old mouse to scroll across here and move over to that next week. What's happening? Alabama takes on Arkansas, which seems to be a more competitive game since Alabama really hasn't shown much the last few weeks. I mean, anybody can destroy New Mexico State.
What do you think about Alabama coming into these next 3 weeks? You got Arkansas, tune-up game, we would think, for Auburn, which should be a little bit better than Arkansas, but probably not now. Another kind of tune-up game to get ready for Georgia. What do you think about Alabama with these next 3 weeks coming, 2 weeks coming up?
Tune-up game stuff. It's the SEC, and I just I don't see where that we can just assume it's a gimme just because they're playing somebody. I mean, the Razorbacks are playing out of their mind compared to last year, and they're on kind of, I would say, kind of a roll compared to previous years, and so we'll see what happens. I think it's in Tuscaloosa, which we're happy about, and then Alabama goes to Jordan-Hare, which I'm never happy about. I don't know that they've ever won there.
Oh, yes, they've won there.
One time.
I saw the game there.
One time. So we will see. We will see.
Well, let me ask you this then, Paul. As we are winding down and we're getting into this mindset here, we're trying to nail down on the final two or four people that we're going to put in there. Who are your four right now that you put? I mean, because when you got the coaches poll and the AP, they're both exactly the same: Georgia, Alabama, Cincinnati, Oregon.
That's right. I would drop Cincinnati just because they don't play anybody. I don't care what anybody says. Sorry. I like Georgia out today. Not who I think is going to be there in the championship weekend, but today I like Georgia, Alabama, Oregon, and Ohio State.
Ohio State came back. Came back from the death part.
And there is a sense where that oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's still Jordan-Hare. There's that air about having to be there.
I will tell you that is one of the greatest.
Some of that is manure smell.
Stadiums for home field. I still remember, and Paul and you and I've talked about this, that 2017 game when Jalen was quarterback and came in there, and they were riding high, and everybody's expecting Alabama just to come in trounce. It was the home field. It was the producing that goes on during a game that kept Alabama out of that. I still believe that to this day, and that's really probably what gravitated Auburn to win in that game. But
home field helps, but Will makes a good point. Without Nix there, and not that Nix was a superpower quarterback,
right. but at home he always played better.
He did. He found a way, just pull something out of his pocket, and to be able to get it done. But
right,
of course, still got Tank and other people. So.
Well, let's go back to this talking. I would love to hear some of our listeners to weigh in on this, Paul. Go back to, let's say Cincinnati goes undefeated, and there's been this argument for the group of five for so long of having somebody in there, and they are ranked 3 in both polls. They can't, at this point, they can't help who they play. That, schedules are done years in advance. Do they deserve a shot?
I mean, I think in a 8 to 12 game team playoff, they definitely do. But I think when you're talking top 4, they're not top 4. They're just not top 4. I mean, you're not looking at your. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things here that play into it. You got the eye test. You have strength of schedule. You have obviously one loss. You have who you play, but you can't. I know they can't help what conference they're in, but they're still in it. Mm-hmm. Just like UCF never really got the shot that they probably thought they needed, but when they got somebody, they got destroyed.
You're right.
So welcome to Destroyedville. That's what's going to happen if you make it to the top 4. You're going to embarrass yourself, but I know you're going to be happy to be there, and that's great for you if you get there. But I'm not real sure. Well, what will happen is, because we've already got a loss. If and when Alabama loses to Georgia in the SEC championship game, that may open the door for Cincinnati.
It may. Yeah. And that's probably the thing, because I think with the second loss to Georgia, that probably would knock Alabama out. I think if Alabama wins, that keeps both in. Definitely keeps both in the playoff scenario. But I do think if
Georgia fan, you should be pulling for Alabama so that the SEC can be well represented.
SEC get that money is all what it's about in there. So it would be interesting. You could have two Big Ten teams getting in there. I wonder if Michigan and Ohio. No, because one of them is going to lose because they got to play each other in a couple weeks. So no, one of them will lose out. So that'll be interesting to come up and to see. So Paul, we don't have to talk about those actually 3 games because we always do that on Friday. So
that's true.
We can hold that off. Let me ask you this: biggest shock of the weekend. What's more of a shock? Well,
I think the way Mississippi State manhandled Auburn because
the second half
played a great game. He really did. He threw for what was it? I think it was near like 400 yards. That was crazy, and he continued to play on a broke leg. Pull a Charlie Morton there, I guess. He found some heart. Isn't that great?
Yeah,
it worked out the way it did for him, but.
Yes, that probably was. I'll be honest. I did not expect Texas A&M to lose to Ole Miss.
Well, they were in the Grove.
They were in College Game Day, where it was there and everything.
Yeah.
To me, the biggest shock of the weekend is either I don't know if it's Baylor beating, even though Baylor was ranked, Baylor beating Oklahoma, or the way Kansas beat Texas. At home. At home.
Texas home.
Yeah, and so what is that? Is that like, I think somebody said, is that like 4 or 5 straight losses for Texas or something like that? And they're coming into the SEC.
Now, you did say the SEC short. But they were like, oh, we don't really need to go in there, do we?
That's why I'm saying you will laugh at this one that you need to watch today. I'll just tell you that. Just go and watch it.
I will check that out for sure.
So, well, Paul.
Well, John, let's make sure and remind everybody about this Friday is our Thanksgiving show. Follow us on it's at Jon and Paul Show. That's A&D. Jon and Paul Show on Twitter, and drop your things that you're thankful for, and we'll mention those or do the best to mention those on Thursday. And love to have you to come in, be a part of it Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern time. North Georgia time, and we look forward to having you. Big thank you to Caleb for his work behind the grass and everything. Really appreciate you and the intro and everything you do for us. And to Jon Paul for the show, Jon Paul Show. This is John. I'm Paul. That was Caleb. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to go to ministryleague.com. Get that newsletter. If you don't get it, you need to have it if you want to know about the draft and find out everything about everything Ministry League. And don't forget about Exposure Youth Camp coming up very soon. Get it done. Get it done today. And then don't forget in May, the experience. It's going to be great.
I thought you said get her done.
I did not, because I do not do that.
Good.
I should have said that.
Finally, for once, Paul puts his foot in his mouth.
Thank you for listening. And we look forward to seeing you Friday. Have a great day and God bless.